This is Jonathan Agoff here for Pro Boxing Fans. We're here at the first press conference of the year, Lee Wood versus Michael Conlan on March 12th for the WBA featherweight title. I'm joined by Dave Coldwell, manager of course of Lee Wood. Dave, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well. It's good to have boxing back at last. Great fight coming up March 12th, Lee Wood against Michael Conlan. First of all, I read something where Lee spoke about, I believe it was Lee who spoke about how you've guided his career, getting him into these big fights. Just talk me through the journey you've had with Lee Wood.
Do you know what? I was talking to Jordan Gill about this earlier on today in the gym. It's just really nice to think back when I signed Lee and how despondent he was with his career. His career was going nowhere, nothing was happening, and he wanted the British title, desperate. That's what he wanted. But you know, he got the Commonwealth title, then we got the British title. Those boxes ticked, and then you fast forward and you look at where he is now. You know, he gets this big opportunity for a world title, takes it with both hands, and now he's always wanted to. You know, it's the dream, isn't it? He's a mad Forest fan. He's a mad Nottingham man, and to be able to defend your world title in a real fight. Not in a knockover job where it's a case of, how many rounds is this going to go tonight? In a real fight, proper fight, where not just Nottingham eyes, all eyes are on Nottingham because of Lee Wood. That's great for him. That's great, and he's buzzing off that. He can't wait.
Do you see this as a 50-50 fight on paper?
Listen, everybody sees it as 50-50. It's a great fight. I think they both can box. They both can box southpaw, orthodox. They're both tough. They're both hard as nails. But Lee can really punch. Conlan can punch harder than what you think. He's spiteful. He's a very good body puncher as well. Very good body puncher. But Lee's got this. Ben's mentioned it already. He's got freakish power. He really has. And now he understands how to deliver that power. He understands how to set the power up. Now he's more dangerous, and I think ultimately, that gives him an edge in this fight.
How has Lee improved or changed under Ben Davison in the two fights they've had?
Knowledge is being coached. It's like any fighter, if they're being taught how and why, they can improve. You know, and that's what Lee's been taught. He's got a good setup. He's got a good team with him. He's good, sparring partners and talent in the gym. And he's a grafter, Lee is, and he wants to improve. Any coach that gets a fighter that wants to improve, wants to learn, can work wonders. And Ben's worked wonders with Lee, because what he's teaching him, Lee's absorbing because he wants to learn, and so therefore you've seen the results in the fights.
What fight are we in for on March 12th? Do you think?
A good one. I don't know how it's going to. It's going to be interesting how it pans out. Because, like I said, the good boxers ultimately are good. But it's not just a boxer versus a puncher; they're both good boxers. So this makes a very good boxing match with the added spice of the power element as well.
Moving on to your stable, news for Hopey Price. Back out, I believe, Feb 12th on the Ryder Jacobs card. What year can we expect for Hopey this one?
Big year. So he boxes on February 12th, just a little 6-rounder, because on the 26th of March, on the Warrington Bill, he's going to box in a 10-rounder. So a couple of big months for Hopey Price, who is just an absolute joy to work with. He's a phenomenal talent. His power's developing, and he can punch a lot harder than what people think when they look across the ring at him. But his ring IQ and his intelligence is just phenomenal, and he's one to watch this year. Really is.
Man behind you, Jordan Gill. Potential European title shot this year?
No potential. February 27th. Finally. Touch wood. There's nothing else that happens, because he had a stinker of a year last year. So fingers crossed, everything works out, and February 27th he becomes European champion, which will mean the world to him. It's very much, he's the consummate professional. Ups and downs, upsetting times mentally and emotionally when things go wrong. He stays in the gym. He lives a life. He don't balloon up. He lives a life. So he really does deserve to become European champion on February 27th.
He had some sort of good momentum after the Cesar Juarez win. Is it just basically establishing that again?
Yeah, the problem is, we talk about this momentum, but it's like he'd not boxed for about a year, comes back, fights Bellotti, don't box for ages, then fights Suarez, and again, I need dates for him. I need consistency for this 2-fight-a-year business for fighters. It's not good. All fighters, not just my fighters, all fighters. But yeah, he needs some momentum, and hopefully this European title fight comes up, and then he gets some momentum, stays healthy, COVID fucks off, and nobody fails tests, and then we can just start getting some proper momentum back in the sport, and with fighters like Jordan.
Spoke to Lerrone earlier, a huge win over Carlos Gongora, someone who was avoided, and he won in style again. What do you make of the performance? Fantastic.
He could have been better, and he knows that, but considering the step up for your 16th fight, what a performance against a guy that's dangerous, that everyone knows about. Great performance, it really was, and now we can have some fun. Now we want some good fights for Lerrone. I'm telling you, he's a phenomenal talent. He's very, very good. I've got to say, my gym at the moment, it's got some serious talent in there. Do you know what I mean? And Lerrone's now kind of like at the top of the gym at the moment, because forget about the IBO world title. It's a version of a world title, but I've never called him a world champion, right? And I told him that before the fight. I ain't gonna call him no world champion, right? But it was the win. Carlos Gongora's top 5 super middleweight, top 10 ranks Ring Magazine super middleweight. Lerrone went and absolutely bossed it, and showed levels in that fight. Now he's Ring top 10 magazine fighter, right? He's one of the top super middleweights in the world. Forget about a belt. I see him, he put up a post, because rightly so, he's proud of his belt, right? Anybody, listen, you win an area title, you should be proud of it, right? And people that want to slag it off are sat there at home eating the Dunkin' Donuts and whatever, right? Or fish and chips, right? Fair enough. I understand it's not a real, like, one that we call as a world title. I've always said that. But he's proud of it because it's an achievement. But the thing that we're most proud of is the person that he beat and the manner that he beat him. He's a legitimate super middleweight contender. So now we want the big fights. We want your Rocker Fieldings. We want your, even Chudinov would be a good, for your 17th fight. Chudinov, I think, is number 6 in WBA or something like that, WBO maybe. But even Chudinov is a good fighter for you to get that experience again before you step up to the top level. But Danny Jacobs, Ryder, like I said, Rocker Fielding. You've got Caleb Plant. Why not? You know, he's 28 years old. So, and he's got, mate, what you saw against Gongora isn't a full package. So he's got more to go yet. So I'm excited about Lerrone.
Obviously, the main event of that night didn't go your way with Derek Chisora falling short against Joseph Parker. Having time to reflect, what did you make of the fight?
I thought on the night it gave it everything. It was a tough fight, and we expected Parker to be better than what he was last time, and he was. But Derek fought better. Derek gave it a great account of himself. Did a lot of good work to the body, but Parker was just a little bit too much for him, and just a little bit fresher, a little bit better, and the crowd loved it, and Derek loved it. Derek really enjoyed it. That's what he's in this game for. He's it's not just about the money for him. It's not about world titles for him. It's because he loves to fight.
Has he been back in the gym and started training again?
No, yeah. He's back. He's back doing bits in London, but no.
So obviously there was talk about the Deontay Wilder fight. I know you've distanced yourself. You don't want him fighting that, and so a lot of people don't. But if it's maybe a Chris Arreola or someone like that, would that interest you guys?
If listen, Derek will do what he wants to do. But I think he deserves a fight where not him, but where we look at and we think it's a good fight for him. I'd like him to have a fight where he's never going to have an easy fight, but I'd like him to get a win in front of his own crowd. The fans absolutely love him, and I think the fans would love to see him win a good fight. Do you know what I mean? Instead of him being the underdog in every fight. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not really worded it well, but I'd like to see him in a fight where he's not an underdog. I think he deserves to be in a fight where he's the house fighter, not the underdog.
Coming up February 19th, round the corner, Amir against Kell Brook. What's your breakdown of that at this stage?
It's quite simple. Who's got what left? I'm excited for the fight. I really am, because I don't know who's got what left, and because of that, I don't know who wins. I think it was a fight that I got fed up of talking about, but I always said once it's signed, I'll be excited about it, and I am. I can't wait to see it. Who do I think wins? I haven't got a clue. That's what makes it exciting. That's why on fight night everybody will be tuning in and everybody will be watching it, because no matter what you say to shit on it, right? And I know, listen, one thing people got to take for it is that this is not, whoever wins on that night, it doesn't mean that they would have won when they were both at the peak. And if you take it as that, that's how you've got to see it, and that's how you've got to, you've got to enjoy the fight. Whatever. Don't be watching them and saying, oh yeah, but if you go out a few years ago, he would have done. Just enjoy the fight for what it is now. That's what you've got. Enjoy that. Take it for that, and it'll be a good night.
People have said that on both sides, the weight of 149 isn't ideal for Kell Brook.
I don't think it's ideal for Kell.
People are also saying if he does land clean on the chin, that he wins the fight. Are those both them valid?
There's so many different. Listen, there's so many things that are valid in this fight. Do I think that weight's right for Kell? No. I think it's gonna take a lot away from him. It's just my opinion, but I think it's gonna be hard for him. Do I think? See you later, mate. Well done.
Coming down. Right, see you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Nice one. I actually think that with the wear and tear on his body and with the time out and all that sort of thing, I wouldn't discount the fact that I know Khan's not a puncher, but if Khan lands on Kell with a shot that he doesn't see, is there a little reaction in his legs there? So don't rule out Khan as a threat in them sort of terms in this fight. It's not just a case of Khan's just going to box him and outbox him, because if you get caught with a shot you don't see, at best of times it can take something out of you, just make your legs a little bit heavier, make your legs do a little dance. But if we're talking about fighters that are a shell of what they were, good shells, still good fighters, but compared to what they were and where they were, they're a shell of what they were. But the punch resistance goes when you get to that sort of stage. So whereas Kell used to be able to take a good shot, I don't know. Can he still take a good shot? I don't know. And that's another part where you're intrigued about this fight.
Most people think that it is the last fight for both. Do you think so at this stage?
I'd like it to be. Because they've both had two, fantastic careers. Pair of them, really, really good careers. It's not where I'd want them to be used as a name for somebody else. Do you know what I mean? I think they're too good for that, and they've done too much, for whether you like them or not. People talking about fighters is enhancing the sport. When you're talking about this fighter in a big fight, and whether you think he's going to win it or he's going to get smashed, Khan stepping up to fight Canelo, this. But he's doing things that are creating interest in the sport. So they've been great for the sport, and they've had eyes on the sport. So I won't like them to go on too long.
All right, Dave, appreciate your
Cheers,
time
mate.
at Roll on March 12th.